Is a live broadcast for the City of Kingsport Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Board meetings are regularly scheduled on the first and third Tuesdays of each month at 7 p.m. In advance of the BMA meeting, a copy of the agenda is available for inspection at the Kingsport Public Library, City Hall, or online at kingsporttn.gov.
Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. It's our business meeting where we vote. Today's December 21st, and first order of business is we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance followed by the invocation, so please remain standing. Miss Angie Marshall, our Deputy City Recorder, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. And our Deputy City Manager, Ryan McReynolds, will lead us in prayer.
All right, please join me. Dear Lord, we just come to you tonight and ask your blessing upon this meeting. We pray you guide the decisions, and we just thank you for this community, and we pray that as a community, we can just rest in these next few days as we look forward to Christmas, where the infinite became finite in the form of a baby. And it's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. Madam Recorder, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Schul,
Here.
Vice Mayor George,
Here.
Alderman Cooper,
Here.
Alderman Duncan,
Here.
Alderman Montgomery,
Here.
Alderman Alterman,
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here. Thank you. By my account, all 7 elected members of the board are present. And Mr. City Manager, it says we don't have any recognitions or presentations, but I do have a recognition and a presentation.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Where is it? Oh, Daryl, I found it. Daryl, step up here. I have a mayor's coin for Alderman Daryl Duncan. And he deserves it today, but he deserves it every day. This guy is everywhere. This is his second term on the Board of Mayor and Alderman. He's a committee chair at the chamber. I tell you, if there's a city cleanup, he's out there on a Saturday morning. If there's a ribbon cutting, he's there. I mean, I really appreciate that, Daryl, that you're so involved in the community and that you serve with all of us on this board. And you've earned this many times over. And there's only a few people who have a coin, you know, but you should have one.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Mr. City Manager, please proceed.
Well, that was a shocker.
Merry Christmas.
All right, we'll move into the appointments. We have appointments for 2 separate items tonight. I'll read through those, and you all discussed last night the desire to vote on them with one. So the first is for the Kingsport Economic Development Board. It's recommended to reappoint C.G. McCord and Craig Dennison, and then to appoint Dr. Bob Harshbarger. Again, this is to the Kingsport Economic Development Board. The next item is a reappointment of Curtis Rose as our municipal judge. And again, that's the municipal judge for the city of Kingsport. We'd ask that you approve these items with one motion, please.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor, seconded by Alderman. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They both pass 7-0. Next item.
Next item is the approval of minutes for the work session on December 6, 2021, and the business meeting on December 7th, 2021.
Thank you. I would look for a motion to approve both the work session and business meeting minutes.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Duncan. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed 7-0, both minutes. Mr. City Manager, see we have no public hearings, no community interest items. We've come to the portion of our proceedings where citizens may comment on agenda items. The agenda, of course, is what we're going by tonight. If you came through the double doors prior to that, you could have picked up a copy of the minutes, of the agenda. And so if there's any citizens that wish to come speak to the board, when you come to the podium, please state your name and address and sign the register that is provided. You're encouraged to keep your comments non-personal in nature, and they should be limited to 5 minutes. A total of 30 minutes is allocated for public comment during this part of the agenda, and again, it's only to speak to items on the agenda. If later on in the proceedings, a citizen would like to speak to an item of general civic interest, there is a portion that we set aside those items can be addressed. Are there any citizens wish to come forward and speak to an agenda item? If not, I declare that part of our meeting to be over. Mr. City Manager, please proceed.
Next item is a consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal 22 general purpose school fund budget. And again, this is for Kingsport City Schools. Being requested to increase that by $54,000 to fund chorus travel, band equipment, and band instructor staff development. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend the general purpose school fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Alderman Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Is there any discussion? Let me pause for a moment. I got to do this every meeting, Mr. City Manager. For you folks out there in the audience and the ones watching this on TV, if it appears like we're moving kind of quickly through the agenda, I'd like to remind you that each member of the board has met separately, individually with the city manager and been over these items in detail. Yesterday, as is our normal procedure, we had what we call a work session where we don't vote, but we discuss the items together as a group, and it's a public meeting. All our meetings are in public as a group. And so we're pretty familiar with the items, and that's why sometimes we don't have a lot of discussion on any given item. Sometimes we do. Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign all documents necessary to enter into a materials agreement with Magnolia Ridge Development related to the Magnolia Ridge Phase 1 development and an ordinance to appropriate the funds. Again, this is a materials agreement. This is coming to you all based upon the value. As you know, recently you guys approved allowing the city manager to sign anything or approve anything under $50,000. This is coming to us at $110,747.35, and this will be for a new 41-lot development. So we'd ask that you approve the resolution and the ordinance, please.
Thank you. So this item and the following two items, we have to approve both a resolution and an ordinance.
Correct.
So Mr. Attorney, please publish the resolution.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a materials agreement with Magnolia Ridge Development LLC related to the Magnolia Ridge Phase 1 development and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Moved by the vice mayor. Is there a second? Second. Second by Alderman Duncan. Is there any discussion?
How many phases? I see the first phase is 41 lots. Is there several phases, or is it
Yes, I believe there'll be
another?
at least 2 additional potentially with this.
We got the better map up there that we didn't have last.
Oh, okay. We still don't have it here.
Well, it's in a Division 4, which you can't get, so.
And 41 lots,
In
Correct.
this
Which
phase.
I-
In this phase.
which I would interpret as 41 separate families, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the resolution, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. Attorney, please publish the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend the water and sewer project funds by transferring funds to the Magnolia Ridge Phase 1 Materials Agreement Projects, WA 2258 and SW 2258, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is a consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign all documents necessary to enter into a materials agreement with Integrity Building Group LLC related to Miller Park Phase 3 development and an ordinance to appropriate the funds. Again, this one is in the amount of $58,858.82, and this is for a new 40-lot development.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish the resolution.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a materials agreement with Integrity Building Group LLC related to the Miller Park Phase 3 development and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Vice Mayor. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor of the resolution, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. Attorney, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend the water and sewer project funds by transferring funds to the Miller Park Phase 3 Materials Agreement Project, WA 2257 and SW 2257, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is a consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary to enter into a materials agreement with Carla Carst related to Cox Valley Development and an ordinance to appropriate the funds. Again, this one is for the amount of $125,343.36, and this is for a 58-lot development. We'd ask that you approve the resolution and the ordinance on this item, please.
Is this the area we also refer to as South Edinburgh?
No, sir.
It's not?
No, this is a new development located near the Gateway Commerce Industrial Park.
Oh, okay.
FedEx, Anita's.
Yeah. Yep, I remember now. Okay, Mr. Attorney, please publish the resolution.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a materials agreement with Carla Carst related to the Cox Valley development and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you.
And I'll abstain from this item.
Yes, ma'am. He's read he's published the resolution. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second? Second by Alderman. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Therefore, the resolution passes 6-0-1, the one meaning an abstention. Mr. Attorney, please publish the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend the water and sewer project funds by transferring funds to the Cox Valley Materials Agreement Projects, WA 2259 and SW 2259, and to affix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Alderman Duncan, seconded by Alderman Phillips. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Then it passes 6-0-1. Mr. City Manager, I guess I would wrap up this portion of our agenda by saying that this is part of the over 2,000 homes that we have coming online within the next couple of years, so it's really a positive thing.
I think there's 139 between those three, and that's great.
Right.
I was looking at the list that the city manager sends. I was just thinking that should put us over 1,000 units that the materials agreement has gone towards now since 07, right in there.
Since 07, wow.
That's good.
Most of them have been, man, this year.
Oh, yeah, there's been
That amount.
This is some real progress, and I salute my colleagues on the board for helping move this along. Okay, Mr. City Manager, please proceed.
We now move into business matters requiring final adoption. You have actually 9 items on here for second reading. The first item is consideration of an ordinance amending the zoning code, Chapter 114, Article 4, Section 535 of the Kingsport Code of Ordinances by adding the city's 3 industrial zoning districts to the list of zoning districts eligible for an electronic message board component as part of the freestanding sign allowance. We'd ask that you approve this item on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. I would remind our viewing public that ordinances on a second reading require a roll call vote, so that's how we'll proceed. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance amending Chapter 114, Article 4, Section 535 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Kingsport, Tennessee, pertaining to electronic message board signs by adding eligibility for industrial zones and updating the nomenclature of an existing zone, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? If not, Madam Recorder, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Alderman Duncan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor George.
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery.
Aye.
Alderman Alterman.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye, the item passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to vacate excess right-of-way known as Buckles Drive and Simpson Street. Again, we'd ask that you approve this ordinance on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to vacate a section of public right-of-way named Buckles Drive, Simpson Street, located off Simpson Street, situated in the City of Kingsport, 13th Civil District of Sullivan County, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor. Any discussion? If not, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Alderman Duncan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor George.
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery.
Aye.
Alderman Alterman.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye, it passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to vacate excess right-of-way adjacent to 1777 North Eastman Road. Again, we ask that you approve this ordinance on second, final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to vacate a section of public right-of-way located off of North Eastman Road, situated in the City of Kingsport, 11th Civil District of Sullivan County, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Cooper. Is there any discussion? If not, please take the vote, ma'am.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Alderman Duncan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor George.
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery.
Aye.
Alderman Alterman.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye, it passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is a consideration of an ordinance vacating right-of-way adjacent to Globe Avenue. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Is, Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to vacate a section of public right-of-way named portion of Clinch Street right-of-way located off of Globe Avenue, situated in the City of Kingsport, 11th Civil District of Sullivan County, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Montgomery. Any discussion? If not, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Alderman Duncan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor George.
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery.
Aye.
Alderman Alterman. Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye, it passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is changing the date of the municipal elections to coincide with the August general election and extending the terms of office. This item comes on second and final reading. We'd ask that you approve the ordinance, please.
Thank you. Well, this is an issue that I think we have thoroughly discussed, and I believe that the public is generally aware. I mean, between what we've done and the Times News and other news outlets, it's certainly that people have had an opportunity to know about this. First, I guess we'll start with the attorney publishing it.
An ordinance changing the date of municipal elections to coincide with August general elections and extending the terms of office as authorized by Tennessee Code Annotated Section 6-54-138 and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you, and since it's got my name on the action form, we'll consider that I made a motion to put it on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Duncan. Is there any discussion? If not, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Alderman Duncan,
Aye.
Vice Mayor George,
No.
Alderman Montgomery,
Aye.
Alderman Ultraman,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
No.
Mayor Schul.
Aye. The item passes 5-2. Next item.
Next item is a budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal '22. As I mentioned last time, this is the budget ordinance that sets in place the bonds that we have received and allow us to go to work on a multitude of projects over various different funds. So we'd ask that you approve this ordinance on second reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the General Project Fund, Meadowview Project Fund, Water Project Fund, and Sewer Project Fund budgets by appropriating General Obligation Public Improvement Bond Series 2021 for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? If not, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Alderman Duncan,
Aye.
Vice Mayor George,
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery,
Aye.
Alderman Ultraman,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye. The item passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is to amend the fiscal '22 General Purpose School Fund. And we'd ask that you approve this item on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the General Purpose School Fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Duncan. Any discussion? If not, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Alderman Duncan,
Aye.
Vice Mayor George,
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery,
Aye.
Alderman Ultraman,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye. It passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is to amend the fiscal '22 School Special Projects Fund budget. We'd ask that you approve this item on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2022 School Special Projects Fund budget and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Alderman. Is there any discussion? If not, ma'am, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Alderman Duncan,
Aye.
Vice Mayor George,
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery,
Aye.
Alderman Ultraman,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye. It passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is to amend Chapter 26, Article 2, Section 19 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Kingsport. Again, we'd ask that you approve this item on second and final reading, please.
Mr. City Manager, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is to put us in line with U.S. law?
That's correct. As you know, we discussed at the last meeting, from time to time, we need to go through and do an evaluation of what our present code of ordinances compared to, and then compare that back to either Supreme Court decisions that have been decided or state law that has changed, and to make sure that we're current in our code of ordinances. That's what this one does, and this one actually pertains to the register that you would have at a hotel and the ability for us to view that.
So the staff work was done by Mr. Rollette, so it's got to be right?
We've made a lot of changes, but we got there.
Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances, City of Kingsport, Tennessee, Chapter 26, Article 2, Section 19, relating to registry requirements for hotels and other lodging establishments, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Is there any discussion? If not, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Alderman Duncan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor George.
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery.
Aye.
Alderman Alterman.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye, it passes 7-0. Next item.
All right, that concludes all of the second readings, so we'll move into other business. Next item is the consideration of a resolution awarding the bid for the refurbishment of one Caterpillar 120 motor grader. As we discussed last night, this is a picture of a grader. This is not our grader. This is not the grader that's being refurbed, but this is a grader. And
But it's awesome.
yes, and as we have stated numerous times, when the opportunity presents itself to go through the refurbishment of a grader, it's it's a cost benefit to the city of Kingsport. So they do a great job at Stowers. That's who's getting this bid. So we ask that you approve this resolution.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the bid for the refurbishment of Fleet Unit 431, a Caterpillar 120 motor grader, to Stowers Machinery, and authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order for the same.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Montgomery. Any discussion? Other than the fact it's an awesome grader.
Yes, it is.
If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item, and in fact, the next two items have to do with the Main Street project. This is a utility relocation contract and conduit occupancy agreement with Spectrum Southeast LLC for the Main Street redevelopment project. Both of the next two items that are before you pertain to the Main Street rebuild. As we saw last night with the presentation by Michael Thompson, very extensive process you go through when we choose to utilize federal money that's passed through the state of Tennessee. It takes some time. You saw the flow chart that was up there that was rather extensive to say the least, but this is a process we go through. We're inching ever closer. Right now, we have on our radar a March of 22, so just a few months away, having the ability to bid that project. It will be an exciting project for our city, for downtown. With that said, be happy to answer any questions, but we'd ask you to approve this resolution, please.
Yeah, I feel like a little bit like a broken record because we've talked about this a lot, and it's a very extensive project. It's going to be done block by block, but we can only do this as fast as the Tdot and the feds line up with these things. And I hope it doesn't sound like we're making an excuse, but that's really the case. And but it will be a tremendous project when it's done. And it's not just a matter of repaving the road. It's digging up the road and replacing dirt and so forth. And it's a major deal. But, well, let's get Mr. Attorney there to please publish.
A resolution approving a utility relocation agreement as well as a conduit occupancy agreement with Spectrum Southeast LLC for the Main Street redevelopment project, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreements and all other documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreements.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution approving a facility encroachment agreement with CSX Transportation, CSX XT, for the Main Street project waterline construction. Again, part of the Main Street rebuild. This is getting approval from CSX to allow us to encroach upon their easement with our water line. So we just ask that you approve this resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a facility encroachment agreement with CSX Transportation for the Main Street Project Waterline construction and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all other documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Alderman, seconded by our Vice Mayor. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order for 57 Samsung televisions from Central Technologies Incorporated. You will recall at your last meeting, you approved a resolution allowing us to enter into the cooperative purchasing agreement with Sevier County. They have done all the necessary legwork, met all the purchasing requirements, and thus we will basically just piggyback onto their bid, and the funding for this will come from the ESSER dollars that the Kingsport City Schools has received. So we'd ask that you approve this resolution, please.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's a very effective way to approach certain purchases and get a better deal. And it is ESSER money, which is federal COVID-related money. And Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order for 57 Samsung televisions from Central Technologies Incorporated under the terms of the Sevier County Cooperative Purchasing Agreement for the Kingsport City School System.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second? Second by Alderman. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution awarding the bid of the Dobbins-Bennett High School re-roof project and authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Morristown Roofing Company Incorporated. Again, this is using ESSER dollars for this project. This is a project that we've been watching for some time, anticipating as we got ever closer to the bid date that the bids would be coming in above what was estimated. I don't think we were anticipating a 34% increase, but that is what we ended up realizing. As a result, we're not taking the alternate on this, so the CTE building, the band building will not be re-roofed at this time. So we will continue to watch those and at a future date provide funding to go back and take care of those roofs. So with that said, this is an item that comes to us from Board of Education, and we'd ask that you approve this resolution, please.
Well, let me drive that point home, Mr. City Manager. The bids were 34% above the estimate from 14 months ago. That says to me, inflation is a problem that we're all having to confront. Of course, we want to support the schools, and this board has been very supportive of the schools, and will continue to be. But the bigger picture is the inflation that we're facing here, because this is over $5.7 million. This is real money.
But it's
So-
a double-edged sword. I mean, like with the ESSER dollars, you have a time frame to spend it, so you can't wait. Like if I had a repaired home and it was going to come in over what I'd budgeted, I might wait. I put it off a year or two, but we can't because you have to spend the money in a timely manner.
And I thought we had an interesting discussion yesterday,
Yeah.
that the potential for that date to be pushed out a little
but you
bit.
don't. That's the unknown.
But you certainly don't want to
but it-
lose that size of an investment, assuming that the government is going to give us longer to do. Or,
I
and I
agree.
said, we also don't know what inflation will do a year or two from now.
And we've had conversations with our design professionals that are working on projects for us and asking similar questions. Do we wait? Do we go? Or do we go ahead and bid it now? And their opinion is the pricing is only going to be going
Go
up.
up, yeah, for us,
you go.
for the near future, I'd say.
One thing on this too, I mean, this roof has leaked for a long time, especially in some areas, and so it's not getting any better. They've patched and put patches on the patches. So it's hard.
But we still beat Science Hill last Friday.
That's right, in blue jerseys.
Okay. You bet, I bet you thought I lost track. I gotta get the attorney to publish it.
I gave
Mr.
up on that
Attorney,
years
please,
ago.
please publish.
A resolution awarding the bid for the Dobbins-Bennett High School re-roof project to Morristown Roofing Company Incorporated and authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement for the same and all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Duncan. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Alderman. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. It passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing submission of an application for a Tdot Urban Transportation Planning Grant traffic study for Stone Drive in John B. Dennis area. We discussed this last night as we went through our roads presentation, which it will be part of our BMA highlights to be going out after the meeting tonight. But the sole purpose behind this study is we begin to look at the new John Sevier Middle School and the former Sullivan North High School is to get a better understanding of the traffic that is there now, the traffic that will be reintroduced once that school opens, and also where that traffic flow will be coming from. Will it be east-west, or would it also be east-west and north? And so we'll be looking at that very closely, working with the school system, obviously, and then also with the state, as John B. Dennis is a state route. And then as we complete this, if there are changes that need to be made, at least we're going to know ahead of time and can begin that process, do what we need to do up there. It could be some things as simple as signal timing, or it could be major geometric adjustments to the roadway. This gives us the opportunity to do so. It allows us to extend some of our road design money that we had budgeted this year, as this only requires a 10% local match. The rest is paid for through Tdot. So we'd ask that you approve the resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, typically, ballpark, how long would it take Tdot to give us an answer on something like this?
We'll be working with a consultant, so once we sign the agreement, I would say 6 months.
Okay. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to apply for and receive a Tennessee Department of Transportation Urban Transportation Planning Grant to fund a traffic study of the area surrounding the East Stone Drive and John B. Dennis Highway interchange.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution accepting a donation of real property from Eastman Chemical Company adjacent to Borden Park. And I'll try to scroll to the map here.
Yep.
For some time, we had conversations with Eastman regarding this property. It has, in many ways, kind of been a de facto piece of the property or the park for many, many years. As they move forward with the pilot for the methanolysis project, one of the things that we requested with that pilot is the donation of this land. In time, this will continue, well, presently it'll continue to be used in its present form, be part of the park. Over time, this will be kind of hopefully allowed to be part of the overall park and future improvements we might be looking to make there, whether that's through tennis, the existing passive park, or to the baseball backstop that's there. So glad to have this. We'd ask that you approve this resolution accepting this property.
Thank you, and our thanks to Eastman Chemical Company for donating this land. Tommy, did you play baseball when you were little on that land?
No.
No, I did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
I know I did.
Okay.
I was ashamed of it, but
It was okay.
I couldn't hit a softball or a basketball.
Football was your forte. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution accepting the donation of 4.94 acres of unimproved real property adjacent to Borden Park from Eastman Chemical Company and authorizing the mayor to execute an appropriate deed and all other documents necessary and proper to receive the donation.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Barge Design Solutions for the second phase of the Scott Adams Memorial Skate Park Complex for professional design services. This allows us to move in to preparing the necessary construction documents for the bicycle pump track, which will be built adjacent to the Scott Adams Skate Park, which is presently under construction, located there in Brickyard Park. There's some great pictures of this construction taking place in your agenda, but also encourage everyone to drive by and take a look at it. It is coming along very nicely. We're very pleased with the progress. The nice weather has obviously aided in their ability to do a lot there here recently, but equally as exciting will be this new pump track, something that we have been talking about for probably almost a decade now, as it initially came out of a Leadership Kingsport community impact study. And so we're pleased to have this here and look forward to moving quickly through the design process and getting this out to bid, hopefully during calendar '22.
Thank you, and I appreciate the efforts on the part of your staff to publicize this as well as the Times News. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a professional services agreement with Barge Design Services for Phase 2 of the new Scott Adams Skate Park Complex, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all other documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to ratify an application for an Assistance to Firefighters grant offered by the Federal Emergency Management Administration and authorizing receipt of the grant funds if awarded. You are familiar with this grant program as we have brought this to you in the past for other items. It is a program that we like looking at a lot simply because of the value of the grant that can be awarded, and it often ties very closely into what we do on a daily basis. As I mentioned last night, one of the first things that Chief Boyd and I talked about when I became city manager was how do we look at some of the very unique things we do within our fire department, such as confined space, swift water rescue, other things that are very unique to the Kingsport Fire Department. How do we make sure that we get the necessary training in place for those individuals, not only the ones that do this now, but also the ones that we need to be bringing up to backfill those positions as folks retire. So we're excited about this grant. We hope we can get it, and if so, it'll definitely provide much-needed funding for training in this area. So we'd ask that you approve the resolution allowing us to ratify the application for this program.
And I applaud them for going and seeking these grants like
Yep.
this. Yes.
And I'm looking at Fire Chief Boyd. Realistic training saves lives. Yeah. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution to ratify an application for an Assistance to Firefighters grant from the Federal Emergency Management Administration for the Kingsport Fire Department, and if awarded, authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary and proper to receive the grant.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, now move into the consent agenda. We have 6 items on the agenda tonight. I will read through each one of those. If you like any of those pulled for further discussion, please let me know. First is consideration of a resolution approving a contract amendment for architectural and engineering services for the CATS Vehicle Storage and Maintenance Facility project. Second is consideration of a resolution approving a lease agreement with the Tennessee Board of Regents and the Tennessee College of Applied Technology Division for space at the new Kingsport City Schools John Sevier Middle School. Third item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the city manager to issue a blanket order for substitute staffing services with ESS Southeast LLC for Kingsport City Schools. Fourth is consideration of a resolution approving an amendment to an agreement with the City of Kingsport and First Horizon Bank National Association to renew banking services agreement for an additional 3-year period. Fifth is consideration of a resolution rejecting the proposal for unarmed security services. And sixth, consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a release of demolition lien on property located at 2513 Fort Henry Drive. Again, if you'd like any one of these pulled for additional clarification, please let me know. If not, we would ask that you approve all 6 items with one motion. And Mayor, if I may, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Alderman Phillips for all the work that he did associated with the item you have there regarding the lease with Tdot for the new John Sevier Middle School. That has been an extensive amount of work over probably about a 2-year period to get to this point, and we're very excited to have Tdot in the fold of what we provide for higher education here in the city of Kingsport. So, thank you. Thanks.
Oh, yes, let me add my thanks to James. And listen, everything that comes before this board has a certain amount of importance, or it wouldn't come before us. But there's 2 items that stand out in particular, and you mentioned one of them, our agreement with TCAT and the school system, and that should pay big dividends. But the CAT's vehicle storage and maintenance facility project is pretty important too.
Goes to bid next month,
Yeah.
if you approve this.
Are there any members that wish to have any one or more of the items considered separately? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented with all 6 items.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. It was moved by the vice mayor, seconded by Alderman. Is there any discussion? If not, Madam Recorder, please take the roll.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye to all 6.
Alderman Duncan,
Aye to all.
Vice Mayor George,
Aye to all.
Alderman Montgomery,
Aye to all.
Alderman Alterman,
Aye to all.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye to all.
Mayor Scholl.
Aye to all 6 items, therefore all 6 items pass unanimously. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we move into the communication section of the agenda. It's kind of rare for us to, I think over the years, to have a meeting the week of Christmas. Sometimes that's the way the dates fall, but it is somewhat unusual to have an agenda with this many items on it at this time of the year. And I really appreciate all the work that the staff did. As I mentioned last night, we pushed a lot of items to get onto this agenda to help our customers who are the citizens of Kingsport, but also there's a lot of items that you all approved on here tonight that really are going to make a big difference as we go into to calendar year 22. We've appropriated the money from the bonds that allows us to move a lot of projects forward. You've awarded bids on various things, materials agreements for new homes to be built, which we definitely know are needed within our city. And so just a lot of really significant items when you go through and look at this agenda and everything that is on it. So I appreciate you all and bearing with us with a relatively long agenda, but again, a lot of positive things that have come out in this. Last thing I would just like to say on behalf of the staff, we'd just like to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to the board. We appreciate your support more than you know. As I said in an email to the staff earlier today, it's been a tough couple of years. It goes without saying. This year, it appears to be a little better. We've definitely had a good year in a lot of different ways and been able to achieve a lot of great things. We could not do that without you all. We could not do that without the citizens of Kingsport supporting what we're doing. And so I do greatly appreciate that, and just hope everyone has a Merry Christmas.
Okay, thank you, Mr. City Manager. I'm going to start with our recent awardee of the Mayor's Coin.
I think he gave you that, because he wanted to get on Santa's good side.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing. This is a great Santa over here, Alderman Duncan.
That still may be up in the air there. There's 2 lists, that you go by. So,
Guarantee it's up in there.
But I've got just a few items here. There's free carousel rides at this weekend on New Year's Eve, and so it's donated by one family. And so I invite everyone to come down and ride the carousel free, and so New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve? You said this weekend, which,
No, it's New Year's.
New Year's.
I'm sorry.
okay.
Mayor's got me all tore up with this coin. And so the chamber has a New Year's Eve bash as well, so you can contact them if you're interested. That is at Manaview. Lamplight has a New Year's Eve bash as well, and that's family friendly, and they'll be showing some of the previous shows that they had this year. Angie was telling us this, it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. And over the past couple of weeks, we've certainly had a lot of people that's come to town that we could showcase our city to. And so there's been a lot going on, so much positive stuff. People just really enjoyed being out in the park across the street and the parade and different things like that. So hats off to the staff and Betsy and James for organizing that, especially across the street. And then finally, I guess Christmas came early for me, I guess.
Well, you deserved it.
I do feel, thank you, I do feel blessed to be able to serve the citizens of Kingsport and to be able to work with you, you guys each and every day, and to be here. So Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy.
You know, Betsy has a coin, so if you show your coin and Betsy doesn't have hers, she owes you a drink.
Drink.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that it, Daryl?
That's it. Thank
Okay,
you.
Miss
Merry
Betsy's.
I think our last meeting, we were talking about the Christmas at the park, and that happened last Friday, and I think I want to say thank you to all the city staff and the city departments that went above and beyond to make that happen. And the chamber, we had our own connection to Santa Claus on our BMA that was at the park last Friday night. And Lamplight Theaters, they had carolers there and the Grinch, so it was a fun night. Our park and our church circle is so pretty. I know tonight I heard there was a proposal at our park.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's
So
great.
Acceptance too.
I know, I think they accepted. But I think it's so pretty. I said, we have things in Kingsport that can't be replicated. And I think Church Circle and the Nativity and this park right here at the church is just really pretty. And I think people are realizing that now as they drive by and see it. We drive by usually when we're out at night, and we always see families there just walking around and looking at the park. It's a nice place to just stroll around, and the weather has been so pretty that they've been able to take advantage of that. Like Daryl said, I wanted to give blessings and for the holidays. I can't go without blessing the Isaiah House publicly. We are so fortunate in Sullivan County to have the Isaiah 117 house for foster children. And right before I came tonight, there was a text that there's 2 teenage girls, I think they're like 13 and 14. They're not siblings, but they'll be sitting at the house until next week. So through Christmas, they're going to be at the Isaiah house, which is very bittersweet. It's a blessing that there is a house and people that will lavishly love on these two girls through the holidays. So just as you celebrate with your families, just remember there's other people that are struggling through this Christmas holiday. And I want to close in just a prayer for you today. It's from Romans 15. It says, "May the God of hope fill you with all the joy and peace in believing, so that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." So I always try to find one scripture that touches my heart that I keep in my my day planner, and that's the one that I've carried around for the last day or two that I'll take through the new year. So just blessings to everyone here, and just remember the reason for this season, and as you celebrate with your family, that there's a lot of families that are, and a lot of people that struggle. So
Thank you, Betsy.
Paul, I really like that tie.
Well, no, but that's nice, but go ahead.
I want to say thank you to all the employees who sent the cards of well wishes and thanks for the bonuses that they received. It's good that people are grateful and pleased of the actions, which leads me to the next thing to say. I'm completing my 6th month here with you all, and it's been a blessing to serve with you. People often ask me, what do I think about serving? And that's one of the first things I say, that we're blessed here in Kingsport to have a model where we're not arguing, bickering, and that we see in other places. So I applaud each of you. And at the same time, I encourage you to be safe during the holidays, and also encourage those who are listening today. If you're not vaccinated, please do so for the health of our country. Thank you.
Thank you. James?
Okay, I have a few things. Most of them are quick. A couple things that were on our agenda. We reappointed Kurt Rose as city attorney. And
City judge.
I mean, city judge, sorry, yeah, city judge. Sorry, Bart. And Mike. I've gone through school with Kurt, and him and Jenny are a wonderful family. So definitely keep them in your prayers this Christmas. They're going through some stuff, and so it's a tough battle, but I think they'll pull through. Second, thanks for mentioning the TCAP facility. A couple of announcements on that. Really excited about that. The opening is January 4th. So the first day, that's the first day of class, is January 4th. I believe they're about full up on the first class. And that is mostly adults going to that and starting.
And construction trades.
In the
what they
construction
teach.
trades program, correct. I think they've got nursing out there as well, right?
To
Starting.
be expanded as they go down the.
Yep, I think second trimester construction's expanding to including high school students. But we are having our home builders meeting. I'm now president of Home Builders Association, and so we are going to have our home builders meeting there on January 11th. And so that'll be the first of many opportunities over the next few months to tour the facility and to see it. I believe we also have a ribbon cutting that will be there on February 28th, and we're going to be making some announcements on that. We'll have some really big announcements on that we're excited to make at a later date. So that's just, that's been a passion project for me, and I'm very excited about it. Let's see. Third, I want to reiterate what everybody else has said. Thank you to city staff. I mean, at the end of the year, you always reflect, and I've been on 2.5 years, and city staff just do a tremendous job, with everything they do in making this BMA position easier. And not only that, but I've just seen, I love our city staff, but to reiterate what Betsy said, with this Christmas in the Park that we did, we owe a really special thanks to all those who participated in that, from city staff, from Chamber, Visit Kingsport, Daryl, everybody, Lamplight.
And the trees were donated by?
The trees were donated by Home Depot. Our local Home Depot store donated all the trees, and we had city departments that decorated them. Chris was really excited to let everybody get out for a day and get paid to go decorate trees. That was a big thing he was pushing for. Yeah. Definitely it was such an incredible event, and just to see how happy the city employees were about, just about what was going on. But, mainly just thank you to city staff for everything they do for us throughout the year. And then next to last is 1 hour ago, 4 years ago, I was packing my bag to go to the hospital. So not to get emotional, but my daughter turns 4 tomorrow. So I'm very excited. It's a Christmas baby. So it's just love her to death. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Tommy?
Well, I've got to say something about my Indians. They're playing good right now.
Yeah, they play again tonight.
Yeah, they do.
Or did they?
No,
was it
they're in this
afternoon?
tournament now.
Yeah, it's a tournament. Did they play this afternoon?
At 8, don't they?
Yeah, 8.
8 tonight?
I think so.
Turn your radio on.
Right now? They better get. Well, they won yesterday.
Yeah,
We went last night.
won last night. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.
Ms. Vice Mayor?
Well, I have a job to do. As Mike McIntyre started back when he was vice mayor, I think this is hopefully my only obligation as vice mayor, is to kind of reflect at this meeting what all was accomplished in the last year. And it was accomplished not just by this board, but because of the city staff, all that they do for us, that we got to vote on these things and act like it's all about us, when really The city staff, as everybody here has mentioned, has done a wonderful job, and I can't thank them enough. Having served on other boards, it really makes me appreciate that every single thing we vote on, I have 100% of the data to make a educated decision and feel comfortable in the vote that I do. You know, we take for granted sitting up here that we are always so prepared, and that is because of the city staff. And so as a community, I want to kind of go through what all was accomplished last year, because when you do it week after week after week, and, you know, government, we talked about last night, that government moves at its own pace.
When you say
A lot of
last year,
times-
you mean 2021?
Yeah, 2021, we're on, because this is our last meeting, you know, and we forget what all we actually accomplished. So, first thing we did was and of course, this list was prepared by the city staff to make sure that I got it, so thank you, Jessica. We updated the city's strategic plan, which was setting up the goals and the objectives for the future. This one is one James did a lot for and will appreciate. We approved 14 material agreements, spurring 463 new lot development in the city of Kingsport for a total value of $775,388.92. Proof that last year's effort to work with our development process and our development community on making Kingsport the best place to develop was worthwhile and benefited all of us. So that's 463 lots in a year. It's more than one per day. We applied for over $2.4 million in grant funding. And, you know, the city is always looking ways to leverage the city dollar against our funding to maximize every opportunity. And that's a lot of grants, and that's something that not every community has, is a staff that can prepare, search out, and write grants for $2.4 million. We began construction on the new $800,000 fire training facility classroom where the firefighters from across the region will be trained. We did the pilot agreement with Eastman Chemical Company, who is investing over $250 million into the methodologist plant in Kingsport, which is a way of recycling back to molecular level. We allotted over $407,000 in the CARES CDBG funding in a variety of uses, and what that does is it mainly works directly with the underserved population in Kingsport. We held a joint BMA-BOE work session to discuss the future facility needs. In partnership with Visit Kingsport in the state of Tennessee, we installed 4 music pathway posts to recognize Kingsport's own, who contributed to the national music industry. We installed 2 new murals on the Greenbelt. We spent the entire year celebrating Bays Mountains and the planetarium's 50th anniversary in a lot of different ways, with a lot of good stuff happening up there. These next 2 are things Pat will appreciate. We adopted a budget with no tax increase and set a tax rate that marks itself as the second lowest tax rate in the history of the city. We also did $12 million toward paving and resurfacing over 17 miles of roadway. We approved the Community Development Block Grant Small Business Grants to 10 local businesses. We began the construction on the new Scott Adams Memorial Skatepark. We accepted the Parks and Rec Master Plan as our guiding document. We began the design process on the River Bend Park. We made a concentrated effort to improve the customer service experience in a lot of our departments with new software, new personnel, and improving the procedures. We leased space to create Appalachia. We established 1 new redevelopment district in Lynn Garden, and we expanded the downtown district boundaries. We leased space in the former North facility to TCAT to begin the construction trade program. The Miracle Field won multiple awards for a new facility and project, including the American Public Works Association Project of the Year. The Kingsport Police Department placed first in the Tennessee Law Enforcement Challenge. We cut the ribbon on the new City Hall facility, which relocated multiple buildings and departments into one facility. And it also won the Tennessee Public Works Association Project of the Year. The Kingsport Greenbelt received the 2021 Governor's Environmental Stewardship Award. Kingsport Economic Development Board selected Eden's Land as the developer for the new residential development at Brickyard Park, adjacent to the downtown. Dobbins-Bennett ranked in the top 5% of all high schools in the country. Washington Elementary was designated as a 2021 Tennessee STEM school. Robinson Middle School Science Olympian team ranked first in the state. The Sculpture Walk launched its 13th year. And we launched Connect Kingsport, and we have over 1,000 registered users, and we've already resolved over 2,500 issues. And those are just the highlights. I mean, it's amazing when you really look back at it all.
Did you mention the $19 million bond issue we did, but we still had debt, overall debt on the decline?
Said we did good.
Good.
And then, for Tom Singlehorse, I have to put on my Santa hat and wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Okay.
So I have done my job.
Thank you. Top that. Maybe I ought to start going first. I've been a part of a lot of organizations, led several, and including in the combat zone. But Chris, I applaud you and your staff. You're just a high-performing team. I really appreciate it. And we put a lot of emphasis on economic development because that helps move the city forward. But you provide services. And listen, I don't have anybody call me up and say, I didn't get my garbage picked up. And I don't have anybody call me up and say, the water tastes funny. I mean, the water actually is graded very high, and we take a big pride in that, don't we, Ryan? And, they just do their job day to day in an excellent fashion. I'm not going to pick on another city, but I read an interesting article today about a city that got caught up in the politics of the moment, and they decided we're going to reduce our police force. Well, they started reducing it through attrition, but then several policemen quit because they thought, these people don't value us. We would never do that in Kingsport. We love our police, we love our fire, we love our city employees. They're just great Americans. And that city regrets what they did. They're now trying to rehire desperately. And you just have a great organization, Chris, and my hat is off to you. The board, my typical Army assignment, I worked, I would have about a 2-year tour somewhere, and in the Army, you always have turnover. But we've been together, 6 of us, for 2.5 years and been through a lot. And Paul, you've fallen in like you've been here more than 6 months, and we appreciate you joining us. So the vice mayor talked about what happened during the year. We have a big year in front of us. First, we're not going to meet again until the 18th of January. That's the day after the Martin Luther King holiday. So we'll have a work session in the afternoon, followed that night, starting at 7 p.m., our regular business meeting. And you can see the city manager had a long agenda here, and we got a lot of things, off the deck, so to speak. And but we're going to have another strategic planning session. We're going to keep moving ahead with economic development, and we're going to figure out how to deal with inflation. It really concerns me. That's my biggest concern. But we have a smart city staff. We have a very thoughtful board. I think we're going to figure this out and continue to move forward, even though, if we can get through COVID as well as we've done so far, we can deal with this other challenge. So, board, I appreciate serving with y'all. I really do. It's great, and I look forward to continued service and a great 2022. And let me see if I left anything off. I guess that's it. And So we've come to the part where citizens may speak on issue-oriented items. When you come to the podium, please state your name and address and sign the register that is provided. Let me add a little note about that. We like people to sign the register because often people may bring us an issue that we weren't aware of. So it helps for the city staff to be able to get a hold of you and find out more about it and so forth. You're encouraged to keep your comments non-personal in nature, and they should be limited to 5 minutes. Are there any citizens that wish to approach the board? Kingsport's a great place to live. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We're adjourned.
Thank you for joining us tonight for the Kingsport BMA meeting. This program has been a production of the City of Kingsport in cooperation with Milligan Productions, Milligan University, and Charter Communications. For more information, visit kingsporttn.gov.